You have to be blind not to absolutely marvel as to what is happening in Maui. It is just incredible. And yet another example of yet another fire that no one seems to be able to explain or understand. And we're just becoming acclimated to this. We are becoming acclimated to more devastations by fire. Now, let me ask my dear friends, what's your take on this? People have ideas. My favorite is when somebody says, we've got to be talking about digital currency. Okay. That's the story. Digital currency. All right. NATO. That's this. Well, there's a lot going on, but digital currency and central bank digital currency is certainly a problem too. But I want everybody to understand, to recognize the fact that we must start with something. Yeah, but why aren't you talking about digital currency? All right. Everybody has their favorite one. You don't understand. That's the issue. That's it. Codex Alimentarius. Damn it. Agenda 21. Agenda 2030. Don't you understand? That's what you should be talking about. Okay. No, none of this other stuff. We all have our things. But since I run the show here, I want to start off with this one. What do you think about the Maui fires? Now, they have been talking. Immediately, people are going to say, it's obviously set. Why is that? It just is. Could there be a reason for these fires? No, it's something else. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we really need to go through a lot of people to come forward and say, let's talk about this, shall we? Let's see, what do the folks say about fires and immediately? Well, it's never been this dry. Okay. But what is the start? We don't have fires like this. Growing up, I mean, we had fires. It was a wildfire, obviously. Michael Martin Murphy talk about it. Look at this, man-made. How do you know it's man-made? Directed energy weapons. DEW. Everybody knows that. Well, how do you know that? It's just, we just know that. Do you have pictures of that? No, we don't have pictures of direct. We just know it to be. Would you stop that? Now be careful, because Marjorie Taylor Greene supposedly suggested something, and I still don't know what she said about the Rothschilds, anti-Semitic, lightning. I have no earthly idea. But let's go through a couple of things. What do you hear is the original cause for the fires? What are you hearing? What are you hearing? DEW seems plausible. Where have you seen a directed energy weapon? Where have you seen this? Question. Where have you seen this? Where have they ever been? Where is a directed energy weapon? Fires don't start by themselves. You are correct. You are correct. Something starts it. Heat, lightning, incineration, arson. Where have you seen a directed energy weapon ever? Where is this? Where do we have them? Just show me. Show me this one right off the bat. And I'm not trying to be stupid, but remember, what's her name? Dr. who said the 9/11. Oh God, what was her name? 9/11. What was her name? Was Judy Wood. and it was the evidence of directed energy weapon. Remember this one? And I want to see. I'm trying to see. And forgive me. Directed energy weapon is a ranged weapon that damages its target with highly focused energy. And a potential application might be whatever it is, operational advantages. There's microwave, Vigilant Eagle. It's a ground-based airport defense system. So there's directed energy weapons. Wikipedia has a series of them where they exist. There is, I mean, and for Wikipedia to even say so. But where is the evidence of this other than the fact that this is? If I say, for example, China, and I'm fascinated because I want to lead the detectives. I want to say, you go with this. But tell me, where is this evidence? And don't tell me, well, it's possible. That's not it. Remember, we're trying to find it. I'm the chief detective. You're my underlings, and I want you to go on and say, where is the evidence of this? Where is this? You don't need to remember this. If you hear hoofbeats, don't think zebra. It's an old medical school technique. Where were you going for the directed energy weapons, first of all? What about plain old arson? Just arson. Nothing fancy. Somebody wants to just set this thing up. It's dry, just torch it. Don't go for the big, interplanetary. No. Just somebody's got to bring this thing. Why would you want to send directed energy from what? From some satellite? No. It's easier just to set these things. Have it coordinated, just easy. How would you start this? How would you start a fire? It's very simple. Wildfire, CCP. Let's blame China. This is fantastic. This is why I love you. This is why I love you. It is just your ability. You love this. I've got a friend of mine. Everybody who dies, everybody, it's the vaccine. Robbie Robertson. See? What does that mean? He's 80 years old. Prostate cancer. Well, that's what they say. I don't know, but that's what they say. Please look at this one. Daily Mail. Woody Harrelson appears to endorse anti-vaxxer RFK Jr. for president. Actor poses with Wilson co-star and 2024 Democrat longshot's wife Cheryl Hines with a very telling cap. Kennedy 2024. Yeah, that's telling. He's not an anti-vaxxer. Do you see where we're going? They're the opposite of you. You see one way and they see the chiral opposite. I'm in the middle saying, wait a minute, hold it. Where are we getting this from? Do you see the sapience of me? Do you see how I see these things? I'm not saying any of this is even remotely impossible. What I'm saying is, would you please give me some evidence? Would you please tell me how you don't just jump into it? But I waste my time. But I'd rather you be you than, and I'm supposed to be the conspiracy theorist. I'm the one always saying, whoa, wait, hold it. Not yet. Wait a minute. Hold it. Horrifying images taken at daybreak show the extent of the damages. Lahaina, the Maui town that was entirely torched by a merciless wildfire. 36 people killed, dozens injured, and hundreds remain missing. Local officials do not know the precise origin of the fire, but you do. You do. You know how good you are. It spread quickly and ferociously because it was fanned by strong winds from the passing Hurricane Dora. Those gusts, coupled with dry conditions on Maui and low humidity, spelled disaster for residents, many of whom escaped with seconds to spare. This is just incredible. As they begin to assess the damage, many are still looking for their loved ones after 2 days of terror. Just look at these fires, these cars. What I don't understand, this is what I don't understand. This is the part that I don't understand. How many fires do you think we've been through? How many do you think? How many fires do you think we've been through? How many? Now, remember the Northern California fires? Remember those? They just happened. Do you mean to tell me, question number one, is there no fire detection available? Forget, now, Maui, there are people there. There are people there. So it's not like you're, forests and wilderness where there's nobody there. I'm thinking maybe some type of a satellite camera or something might be able to detect, but we have people there. Now, it seems to me that somebody would say, we have a drill. Work with me on this. In Lahaina, a fire starts. Now, absent directed energy weapon where all of these beams of light come in, but short of it, let's just assume it starts one place. I don't know what. Lightning. There has to be the ignition point. Something has to start it. Fire doesn't happen spontaneously. It can be electrical, which I don't think is going to be. It can be combustion. It can be a lot of things. Okay. It can be a lot of things. Now, here is the question that I have, and this is very, very important for all of us to consider once and for all. And it goes something like this. How does this work? When the ignition point starts, do you think somebody somewhere would say, let's send in the planes that go in and take, it's right by the water, suck up the water and spray it, drop the chemicals. We know what's happening. We can be there. We will get you a plane. We'll put this out. It's got to start someplace. It doesn't start 10, 15, 20 places all at once unless it's directed energy. It's got to start somewhere. How is it that time goes by without anybody? I don't know this. Maybe you can tell me. I know it's brittle. I know there's wind. I know, but it's still, you have to start someplace. And then it builds and it builds. And let's say it's up to an acre. Let's assume it's one place. So you mean to tell me people does anybody put this out, or does it take off immediately? I don't understand this. The same thing in California. How long does it take to get planes there? Have you not gotten this drill yet? Or maybe we don't have any money because we've been giving all our money to Ukraine. I don't know. I don't understand that. Okay. I just don't understand it. And when I say I don't understand it, it doesn't mean that I would never rule out arson ever. One of my dear friends is a famous arson. He's a fire marshal in New York. Famous. And he always talks about the psychology behind this, the psychology behind arson, and when things don't make sense to you. And they can go and they can look at burn patterns. So anyway, we can guess all we want. But all I'm saying to you, dear friends, is do this. I want you to admit something. I want you to say as follows, and it's okay if you do. You can say to me, listen, I don't know anything about fires. I don't know anything about directed energy weapons or anything. I just love the story that sounds better. I just love intrigue and I love man-made and I like dirty cabals and Russia and this and that and Soros and anyway, I hear nothing but zebras. I don't think no. I love this stuff. It's my nature. I want there to be blue lights. I want this to be a part of a continuation of Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, the removal of people maybe more towards the more towards the 15-minute city. I don't know. But all I know is this, and I'm telling you, I love this. I can't, God, I love it. It's who I am. When somebody dies, they die because of a vaccine. They don't die because they're 80 years old with prostate cancer. It doesn't work like that. I don't think like that. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. It's all zebras. No horse hooves for me. It's who I am. And not only that, if you can work somehow Bill Gates, nanotechnology, depopulation, Klaus Schwab, Soros, work it into this, I'm the happiest person in the world. And you would be the worst detective anybody's ever seen. Do you know a case? You know the Gilgo Beach fellow? They're going to find out. A lot of these aren't necessarily him. He's not giving up anything. He might be one or two. But what if there's a whole bunch of them? Or others? You watch what happens. Watch what happens. Oh, I forgot to, you remind me of one thing. You know why they're doing this, right? You know why it's the Democrats. Because it's a distraction. You always have to say that. It's a distraction. It's a distraction to get you off of the Biden family crime. That's exactly what this is. It's a distraction. Don't you understand how this works? I know how you think. Speaking of distractions, Jack Smith wants Trump's trial to start January 2nd, right before the Iowa caucuses on the 15th. How about that? Now that's a distraction. Can you believe this? Can you believe what we are saying? Can you believe the blatant, obvious, incredible? Jack Smith says, I don't give a damn whether you realize this or not. It's the way it is, and that's it. And one of the cases with Trump carries the death penalty. Did you hear this one? Theoretically, if one of the, what was a conspiracy for civil rights, if somebody died, well, the one who dies is Ashley Babbitt. I don't know if that counts. Maybe it's like the felony murder rule. This is unbelievable. Somebody told Jack Smith, listen, you go for broke on this one. Go nuts. Believe me, we'll take care of you. There'll be something in your stocking Christmas. You know what I mean? Go for broke. Next, maybe you can help me. Maybe you can help me with this one. What is being done with Comer and with Jim Jordan? What are they doing? What are they doing? What is happening? At least Stefanik says, I can't believe this thing. And there's a but, and we have the but. And Laura Ingraham, this absolutely, there is evidence that Devin Archer said that he knew what his son was doing. He was a part the big guy knew. It is obvious. We've got $20 million being transferred. What is happening with this? Where are we going with this? Tell me something will happen. And the problem, this is what we're moving in, and we've got it, and we're going to prove this because it's absolutely, we have the evidence at Comer, and we're going to subpoena. What is happening? Nothing. Again, it's like, what is happening? Hello? Anybody home? Now, the best news for you, the best news, and this is the Ron DeSantis is the worst candidate ever. But you know what he did? He suspended Orange County State Attorney Monique Worrell. The second time he's done it. God bless him. In Florida, in Hillsborough County, my old stomping grounds, the Andrew Warren was the state attorney, which is their DA. He got rid of him because he had basically pledged or agreed ahead of time that he wasn't going to be prosecuting anything involving early forms of abortion or something else, some other version of this, something about transgender or whatever it was. Anyway, so God bless him. DeSantis says, I'm getting rid of you. He appealed it, and the Florida Supreme Court said you waited too long. And now he's getting Monique Worrell, another one, who basically didn't use anything. And listen to this. Who didn't care, didn't seem to do anything involving those criminal defendants who were using guns during the course of this. So she aggravated, she brought no firearms charges. The Democrats who care nothing but guns and hate guns. And here's the best part. There's a whole group of people who somehow, for some reason, seem to escape time after time prosecution. Certain demographics, certain people, certain categories of defendants who time after time keep getting a pass. And whenever I bring it up to anybody, whenever I say anything about it, do you understand this? Whenever I bring it up, people say, you're being a racist. Now that story is gone. Either way, God bless Ron DeSantis, who bounced her today. Get out. This is what everybody needs to do, including our own horrible governor, Kathy Hochul. So God bless them. Next, here is the one that just kills me. By the way, you poor folks have the hardest time with spelling sanctimonious. Ron DeSantis is not sanctimonious. I think Trump just picked Santis because it kind of sort of maybe sounds like sanctimonious. I don't understand that connection. You know what else I can't figure out? I look at my phone, I see X, and I got to remind myself, that's Twitter. I'm looking for the little bird. I'm having the hardest time. I'm looking at my phone. Where's Twitter? Oh, there. It's not Twitter. It's there. I don't do this X. I don't know what the X thing was. I can't figure that one out. Now, here is the one that is incredible. Let's assume you are a father. You and your wife, or you and your baby mama, or whatever the particular phrase is, you have a child, and your wife decides to raise your child as a girl. Your child, when you see your child on the weekends or whatever the particular visitation is, says, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. I'm a boy. I don't want to be a girl. And you film it and you talk to your child. You go, are you sure about this? He goes, yes. She's got me wearing a dress, and I'm telling you, this is the weirdest thing in the world. Turns out mom, this is a real case, by the way. Turns out mom either went from lesbian, mom's out of her mind. Mom is completely a nut. She's a signal 20 off her rocker. She went from, she's like one of these, she was gay, and then she's non-binary, then she's this. She's all over the place. She's wherever the wind, like the winds of Maui. I saw a woman today, and I thought of you. A woman, butch hair. When I say butch haircut, like butch wax. You remember butch haircut? Not butch, but crew cut, butch top. Woman, white t-shirt, black dungarees, Doc Martens, and one arm completely covered in tattoos. And I wanted to say, bravo. You've got the uniform down perfectly. Bravo. You got it. The one arm. And I'm sure growing up, you said to yourself, you know, I can't wait one day to cover my arm in tattoos. I love tattoos. That is the mask. That is the, anyway, so there she went. So going back to our story. So this guy has to deal with this mother who's cracker. She's out of her tree. She was less gay. Nobody even, does anybody use the word lesbian anymore? Does that even exist? I don't know. What do I know? Anyway. The mother wants to have the kid surgically snipped or puberty blocked or whatever it is. And he says, whoa, wait a minute. Hold it. Goes to court, has to get a lawyer, too much, can't afford this, wants to go to court, wants to have emergency hearings, wants to tell the judge, no, wait a minute. You can't do this. Here's my evidence. That's okay. The child is fine. No, you don't understand. The child's not fine. The mother's a nut. CPS comes in. She's fine. It's an alternative lifestyle. Goes, alternative lifestyle. Talk to her. She's bipolar. Talk to the kid. Here's a video of him. Nobody cares about it. Nobody's caring about it. This kid is walking off to his or her fate and doom. And the courts are saying, like, well, what are you going to do about it? We've got CPS behind it. We got doctors behind it. It's the most incredible thing in the world. In the old days, if you said, excuse me, I do not want my child to be treated for diabetes. Why? Because I am Christian Scientist, or I'm whatever it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. No, you can't do that. What was that again? No, you have to. I have to take. You're saying there's an intervention. You're intervening. Well, I believe in prayer, and I'm the parent. Oh, no. Well, in this case, this parent decides that she believes this young boy needs to have puberty blockers, and they got to act quick, because you know what happens. You'll end up like Leah Thomas. You got to get that. You got to get that puberty blocking in. Rachel Levine said you got to get it in quick. So this father is saying, I don't know what the hell's going on here. And you sit back and they're saying, we don't care what you think. This is like, they make it sound like going to a different school. Should he be raised Jewish? Should he be raised Catholic? You know, that's what traumatic enough. This is the most incredible thing. This is what happened to this country. What happened to this? Where did this come from? How did we have so many cases of so many kids all of a sudden involved in this rush to have this permanency, this mutilation, this sterilization, in essence, a life of incontinence, a life of no sexual. I mean, what is happening? It's unbelievable. And it's happening with such frequency and such, it's a part of the fad. It's the same as this woman they saw walking around all of a sudden with her arm covered because, by God, this is my look. And just like that is a fad, and this is my look, this is my case. I'm lauded. I'm the mom who had her child fixed. Good for you. If you're an adult and you want to get fixed or whatever it is, I'm sorry. This is, I mean, this, it is incredible. And here is the point, and I want everybody to understand me. I want everybody to listen to what I'm saying. I absolutely believe and have believed that there are people who are born in the wrong body, using that euphemism of sorts. There are people, yes, I believe that they exist. Yes, I absolutely believe they exist. However, there is a permanent change where there is no room for error. This is why I'm against the death penalty. There's no room for error. None. There's no do-over. There's no mistake. We don't know. We just went through something where we have a lot of people said, hey, don't worry about it. And pretty soon, you're going to hear people who learn from this. When you had folks who said, I got some questions about vaccination policies, pow, crushed. That's what's going to happen here. And you know what most people think about it? Nothing. They don't care about it. They're saying, phew, that's terrible. Anyway, what's on TV? Let's go out. Let's go to the mall. Let's have fun. What do you say? And one day, oh my God, I can see it right now. Hello. Were you subject to because we hear it here all the time. Were you in 9/11? Were you in New York? Were you in Lower Manhattan on 9/11? Are you the victim of did you suffer? Did you use Johnson & Johnson talc and contract ovarian cancer? Have you been hurt? Have you been injured? Do you want to be hurt? Do you know somebody who was hurt? Would you like to be hurt? Pelvic mesh, call us. Remember Viax litigation. Are you the victim of glyphosate? And call us. Operators are standing by. One day you're going to say, were you subject to a puberty blockage at a time? We're going to extend the statute of limitations, and we're going to allow you, we're going to open up the lawsuits, and you're going to go not after your mother, but after the hospitals. Now, unless they have some kind of a statutory waiver like they do in the case of vaccines, get ready for this one. Just like they did with going after Catholic churches and parishes and dioceses 50 years after the fact. Just wait for this. And you're going to see this. You're going to see this. Watch what happens. People standing there, one after another, and you're going to look at them and you're going to say, there's something. We saw this story. We were at the Heritage Foundation. How many years ago was it? Years ago. About 5 years ago. And we saw there was a man who spoke and said, I went through this. And it's not what you think. It is not. It's one thing to, you might say, I have a mastectomy. Okay. but that's a surgical procedure, obviously removing, breast tissue, lymph node. I guess radical. It's almost it's so sad when these people to think that it's elective. To think that it's elective. There are people, there are women who, by virtue of breast cancer, have had to just go through just the shock of having their breast removed because of cancer. And this is being done electively, at least elective on the part of the parents. This is horror show stuff. I can't believe this happened. And you're going to see people in the future, they're going to come forward and they're going to say, were you a victim? Did you have puberty blocking? Here I am now. I'm incontinent. I have no sexual dysfunction. I'm suicide rate. You're going to hear everything that you knew. Everything where you said, well, of course that happened. It's going to happen. And you know what's going to happen? Nothing. It's like we're doing experiments just for the sake of the experiments, like Frankenstein. We're just doing this. It's not chimeric. It's not transhumanism. It's the opposite. It's just, and we're talking about it like it's nothing. It's unbelievable. And you, as the American citizen, have been so bombarded, so overwhelmed, so just attacked by this. You can't believe the news. You're saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know. And then there's Ukraine. Oh my God, we got that. And then CCP and the Maui's on fire. And what about the white balloons? What about the balloons? And Trump and the Biden and the laptop. And what do we do with this? And dear God, then the crime. Did you see this great? It was a D.C. city councilman. This gentleman said, we can't take this S anymore. We're taking it. We need help. We need help from the federal government. Help us. This is the nation's capital. And you've got Bowser, the mayor, who says, I can't help you. Why? Because that's going to be the mission of guilt. What? Help us. It's like this. It's this fire that's starting everywhere. And for so many people say, I don't know. I don't really care about it. I don't know. We have stories in New York and elsewhere, New York and Los Angeles, and not just big cities, but they're going to be in your town too, where there were just these people who just show up. Who are they? And they're sleeping on the streets. They don't know what to do. And you've got the mayor of New York who says, hey, I can't take care of them. Don't you? He thought he was going to be, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, thought he was going to be in with the Biden. He thought he's going to be one of the chosen. He's going to be, in the creme de la creme. I'm on board with the Biden administration. Well, that fell through. Because he said some stuff and they say, you know what? The hell with you. Now you've got these people and they're asking, well, where are they going? What did they do? They're just there one day. Where does he go? Hello, Pedro. You and Maria and the kids, you're sleeping on the ground at the Roosevelt Hotel. Where are you going? And I want to ask you, why are you here? What did they tell you? I know you want a new life. I've got no problem with anybody trying to seek a new life and safety for their family. What did they tell you? Who told you? How did you get here? Why are you here? Because they opened up. But what did they tell you? That's what we have to hear. What promises were made? How did you get here? How did you get here? You want to have some fun? Let's you and me and let's just go in and see if we can break into China or just walk into, hey, we're in Italy or Italy. Oh, they're going through hell too. Let's just show up. Us. Like this. We're here. I want some money. I want a place. I want medical care. I want enroll my kids in school. They'll say, "Get the hell out of here." What are you talking about? So who told you to come here? Why are you here? How much did you spend? What, the coyote? How much? And then you've got Eric Adams. He goes, "Hey, I can't do anything." It's like, well, what the hell good are you? Try doing that with Rudy Giuliani. And then they would take these poor people up, but I don't blame them. Remember when they would take these poor people up, they would take them to Martha's Vineyard? Come on. Or take them upstate over here. Where do they go? When you see them here one minute, where do they go? When you see a group of people we have sometimes these kind of like these homeless kind of encampments, I'm sorry, what are they called? Unhoused? Unhoused. Did you know that? That's the new word. Unhoused. I'm not kidding you. That's the new word. It's called unhoused. And when you have the unhoused there one moment, the question I have is maybe for you too is like, well, what do we do with the unhoused? What happens? Can you explain that one to me? Can you help me out? I don't understand. I don't understand how any of this works. This is the unhoused. Where did they go? Where did they come from? What happened? And when these people all of a sudden, when they say, "Hey, get up and move," where did they go? They disappear. They were reabsorbed. Where? Who are these people? And here's one for you. And by the way, this is the homeless now, not the illegals, because they're illegals. They're not here pursuant to any legal whatever. They may not fall into the same category of criminal. I don't think of them as a criminal, but because as far as they know, they thought, well, they told me to invite. Okay, fine, but let's just talk about regular people here on the streets, the people who are just. We were at a place the other day, Upper East Side. We're having lunch, and right outside a pretty, you would know the name of it. There's this derelict. And he's out of his tree, and he's just raising all kinds of hell. And really, millions up right there. He picks right there. Okay. Now, here's my question. I asked this question. Do you ever see any Chinese people like that? Do you know how many Chinese people? Now, I've got friends of mine in Queens and Flushing and everything who Chinese. Oh my God, there are more Chinese than you can imagine. They don't have Chinese homeless people unhoused. Why do you think that is? They don't have them. Let me say this again to you. They have more Chinese you can imagine. They're working, they're this, they're in the morning, they're doing Tai Chi, they're this and that. They're second, third generation. I don't see this. I don't see that. And what's weird too is I was in parts of the Bronx where I didn't see any there either. It's the strange. It's like there are some groups of people I didn't see any, but I see them here. Somebody told me one time, I met a man who was Iranian, Persian. He says, I can trace my family 8, 10 generations, something like that. Very, very proud. You don't see Iranian Persians. It's Persian. You can't believe how many Iranians there are. Man, name the country. Name it. We got Brazilians. We've got this. We got Koreans. There's no Korean homeless people. They're nowhere. Why is that? Don't ask that question. Wait a minute. No, I'm going to ask that question. We don't see Korean drug addicts. We don't see Iranian drug addicts. We don't see, we just don't see any of these people. None. Germans and what? They don't like drugs? What is this? Because there are certain people in this world, and there has nothing to do with where they're from or their race, but it has to do with their family, their culture, their happenstance, their world, their values, their traditions, lack thereof, whatever you want to call it. And they're all over the place. But we can't talk about that. And you're sick of it, and I'm sick of it. How is it that everybody else, now, by the way, if they're mentally ill, here's what we do. We go back, and there was a time in this country where we had places like Creedmoor, we had Bellevue, and it would institutionalize these people for their own benefit. Institutionalize them. You hear what I'm saying? Institutionalize. I mean, they weren't, in prison for the rest of their life. But during the, 60s, 70s, somebody said, oh, this is terrible. So they cleaned out these places and just shooed them away. And they're out in the street. And they're pitiful. And you've got some guy who's shooting up or drunk or combinations of mental illness and neurological problems and health problems. And you know how many people, by virtue of endocrine imbalances, or the manifest psychiatric thing. I got no problem. Take some of the money, take all the money that we sent to Ukraine, pick these people up. I've got a heart. It's not their fault. Pick them up, put them in a place, and take care of them. Do you hear what I'm saying? Divine Icon writes, Atlanta Repeat Offender Task Force. In the past 4 weeks, Atlanta officers have charged 75 people with more than 1,800 combined arrests. Good. I'm all for that. Divine, absolutely. Sometimes, though, we used to have things called habitual felony offender, habitual misdemeanant versus the mendicant. You would notice them. We have no tradition. We have no values. We don't care. We're all different. And there's no, I remember there was a thing I saw, and I said, I'm always fascinated. I think if there's one place that I think love theoretically, if I had to move to some country, even though I don't know here, because I'd rather move in the middle of nowhere and just not see anybody. But Japan, and I love to hear about things an expat should not do in Japan. Do not blow your nose. Oh, they go crazy with that. They go crazy, and to have a tissue and put it back in your pocket. Oh my God, they retch. Eating in public, you pull it aside. Talking on a subway, music to my heart. So this one guy was talking. He said, I'm never going to fit into Japan. He goes, these are wonderful, because it was a Caucasian American, whatever. He said, I'm never going to fit in. And they made it very, very clear. They don't want me marrying. And it's okay, because they have a tradition, and this is Japanese, and they don't want to lose it. And I'm not Japanese. I don't speak the language, and I don't look like them. And I'm not Asian, and I'm not Japanese. And it's okay. Here we'd call that racist. But over there, they'd say, that's the way it is. I know people who say, Jewish guy said, I'm marrying a woman. Oh, it's great. Is she Jewish? No, but she's going to convert. Got to convert. That's the way we do it. Okay, fine. I like people who do that. I like people who believe in something. You cannot believe how many times in this city you can see people working maybe a food cart, or somebody working a hot dog stand, or there's this chicken place called the Halal Guys on like 53rd and 6th or whatever. I mean, it's you have no idea. It's just millions of people. Anyway, you'll see them during the day. They have a rug. They stop. They pray. They bow. I love that. Tradition, belief, come hell or high water. Doesn't matter where it is. Concrete. They got their rug. They're going to pray. This one is Japanese. This one's Jewish. Whoever it is, I love it. What's our tradition? What do we stand for? Nothing. Nothing. What do? We have church? No. Christianity? No. Atheism? Not even that. Are we proud Americans? No. Some are, maybe. Kind of dime store. We wave a lot of flags sometimes, but we know. Do we have any pride in anything? No. When I see people throw stuff or trash, sometimes you'll see somebody throw something out of the car. I want to get out. Reminds me of that ironized Cody. Remember that? Remember that with the Lady Bird Johnson cared about littering. It's like, you're doing that to me. You disrespect. You're throwing stuff on the ground. What the hell's the matter with you? We have no respect. We're slobs. We're slobs. We're big mouths. We're big mouths, and we're loud. We got a bunch of Karens, and we have no connection, no whatever it is. And we got this new group of people involved who are in charge of the government, and I don't know what the hell they want. I don't know what they want. They're prosecutors who want no bond. They want to free criminals. They just want utter and total mayhem. And my new thing is, we have this new, this Gilgo killer. I'm saying, what do you want about the Gilgo killer? Come on, let him go. Come on. What's the big deal? Come on, restorative justice. Why don't we just sit down and work this out? Let's restore. Why do we use the criminal justice? Because he's a serial killer, allegedly. Nobody believes that. We are slobs in this country. Slobs, pigs, uncouth. We see a savagery. We've got lunatic, and we now celebrate. You remember that crazy woman who was on the some Arab from flight who says, "And you, I can't see you because you took my earbuds." She had a complete psychotic breakdown. Now we found out who she is. She says, "You don't know the hell I've been through." And I guess people think she looks nice or something, so now she's a star. Excuse me. She had a full psychotic breakdown. And we're celebrating this now? What the hell's going on here? We are disgusted. I understand why. I understand original sin. I understand it. If you would say, if you died and went to St. Peter and could talk to God, what would you say to God? Don't you love that? You know that thing they always say? What would you ask God? What would I ask God? I go, what the hell are you doing? This is in your image. You made this? These people are disgusting. These people are disgusting. And not just us. From Attila the Hun to Genghis Khan to you name it, to that guy with the Charlie Chaplin mustache whose name we can't say. We're a bunch of corruption, vile, disgusting people who think nothing. And by the way, our mental illness flourishes. Our mental illness gives birth to new mental illness. It flowers. It blossoms. What were you thinking? I don't understand it. We were born in your image? Are you kidding me? Dear God. This is the worst. Even the story, if you believe this Adam and Eve business, Cain and Abel, fratricide right off the bat. There you go. From the beginning, two people walking around, mom, dad, two brothers, and they kill each other. Couldn't even wait. I don't know what's going on here, but we are just shot. We are the most disgusting group of people anybody has ever seen. And we think we're so great. Have you seen this great YouTube stuff going around of people who dance with the Holy Spirit? Have you seen them? They go crazy. They dance up and down because they feel imbued with the spirit of I don't know what. But you know what? Thank God they're doing that. They're not hurting anybody. They're in a church. They're feeling the glory of the Holy Spirit. I'm all for it. Isn't that funny? I'll take that any day. to these TikTok videos of these crazy Karen neighbors coming over and screaming and yelling at people. It's the most incredible. We are so vile. Seriously. Don't give me stuff of man is good. So we got a president who basically decided, President Trump, that he wanted to change things, and now they want to execute him. And I guarantee you, you may laugh all you want. If Jack Smith had the chance to execute this president under some interpretation of the law, he would do it. And you know it, and I know it. And these people are so sick, they would actually want to see it. We have Maui fires. Remember Maui? You wouldn't know that. Ask your parents. We have Maui fires, and nobody's like, I wonder what that's about. Anybody interested in this? No. You just think that they just kind of came out of nowhere. You don't think it's funny that they can't stop a fire? How fast is it? You think somebody will say, yeah, get on the phone. Listen, is that smoke over there? Call that plane that comes over. He can just fill up right here. We're in Hawaii. Just have them lower that big plane, just fly over and drop some water on this. It'll take a while. Okay, we'll do the best we can. Just do it right now. I don't understand. Not when the conflagration has already hit fever pitch. It's incredible. Then we've got Comer and Jordan. Oh, they are just Jim Jordan. They're doing absolutely nothing regarding that horrid Mr. Hunter Biden. And then we have people right now taking children, poor children who happen to be born to these demented, sick parents who are playing genital switcheroo because it's the latest fad. So they could be the first person at their garden club to say, guess what? We had, by the way, who is your gender reassignment surgeon? Oh, I go to Dr. Birnbaum. He's wonderful. But he's not accepting any more patients because business is so great. But you know what? I'll see if I can get you in. Yes, because little Edgar here, we want him to be Sally by thanks. Oh, no problem. Snip. You offer that, Edgar? What? Don't worry about it. You'll understand. It's like neutering a dog. Edgar's gonna walk around with those little cone. You know what I mean? Just like when you bring home Trixie, when you spay and neuter. I can't believe I'm even talking about it. I can't. And Bobby Kennedy, after all he said, Daily Mail calls him an anti-vaxxer. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we are today. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? Now, a couple of things here. I want you to immediately follow Mrs. L right there at Lynn's Warriors and YouTube at Lynn's Warriors. She has a brand new video today, which is terrific, where she actually explains that China, in some respects, is right on the money. If you want to find me, there I am at Twitter, at Lionel Media, I should say. And that's back to Mrs. L. All right, you wonderful, great, and glorious people. God bless you. Thank you for being a part of this. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for sharing your evening with us. Thanks for sharing your wacky, crazy, conspiracy, psychotic lunacy. And I love it like you can't believe. You are incredible. You are just, I'd rather be with you than the finest people in the world. All right, dear friends, have a great day. See you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dead.